Just moments ago, we got word from the U.S. Appeals Court. This is breaking. The court found the president's local tariffs were found to be illegal. Court finding from exceeding.
Another edition of the Audible Market. We're talking briefly about the ruling by a federal U.S. Appeals Court that the Trump tariffs are illegal. So if Trump tariffs were deemed to be illegal, then why is Canada still pursuing these negotiations? Seems to me, as based upon my background in constitutional law, that the prudent thing for the Mark Carney government is to wait until the various courts decide in the United States, up to potentially the Supreme Court, on the legality of the tariffs. But instead of doing so, the Carney government is continuing to pursue trade talks and put various Canadian interests on the line with a government which is, by its own courts, is deemed to have been acting improperly and illegally. It seems to me that if the Carney government is not waiting for things to play out in terms of the legality of Trump's tariffs and putting Canadian interests on the line, seems to me that that is an irresponsible course of action. Seems to me that the Carney government owes it to all of Canadians to ensure that it is negotiating with a government which is endorsed by its own courts as acting within the rule of law, and for the Carney government to continue to be pursuing negotiations with a government that is increasingly lawless to its own citizens, particularly when in the area of trade, as ruled by the federal courts. This is completely irresponsible. Once again, based upon my background, it seems to me that the Carney government should suspend all talks until the court determines the legality of the tariffs in the first place, and until the Trump administration starts to act within the rule of law by its own courts. And Canada ought not to be pursuing continued negotiations with a government which is not abiding by its own law. How can we as Canadians expect Trump to abide by international law when they're not even abiding by their own law? This is another edition of the Audible Market. Look forward to your comments below.